Hey folks, this video is about how to install a brake controller, electronic trailer brake controller on a 1994 GMC Sonoma. This truck came with a factory towing package, which meant it came with an oil cooler and what else? I think some other stuff was heavier duty, I don't know. Anyway, maybe a different rear end, differential rear end or something. Really, all the lights are the same. For an electric brake controller connector as a 4-wire flat connector. The addition is that you'd be sending a brake signal down to the 7-way connector in your trunk or in your bumper. And how are you going to do that? Well, you have to have a cable that runs from the brake controller, which is in your cockpit, right underneath the steering wheel, runs from there out to the firewall. And let's see if I can show you where I did that. It's really difficult to see, but anyway, underneath the brake booster, what's going on with this one? Underneath the brake booster, there's a cable that I brought up there through there's a grommet right directly underneath the brake booster, a grommet in the firewall. So anyway, I came through there with some wires, and one of them is this yellow one that just this cable I picked, so don't go by the color. It could be any color you want. It has a 20 amp or a 30 amp, let me see if it says on it. No, probably not. No, it does. 20 amp resettable breaker, auto resettable breaker, and that's got to be in line with the feeding the power to the brake booster. And so this goes from the there's like a bus bar, a 12-volt bus bar with really heavy 12-volt feed to it. Anyway, so I tapped onto that. My 20 amp resettable breaker goes to the brake controller, and then from the brake controller I have a line that comes up, it's blue, that connects on to a blue wire that was in the wire harness from the factory, thank goodness, because it would be a real pain in the neck to run that. So anyway, it runs all the way from here to the back of the truck, and right at the wire harness, like right above the spare tire, it pops out there, and that's how I fed 12 volts from here all the way back. Sorry, that's how I fed the brake signal from here all the way back. And then also the trailer brakes in your 7-way connector has a ground line, and that connects to the frame of the truck. And certainly you want to make sure that that's a really solid ground, and your brake controller also has a ground as well. So that's all I'll show you under the hood. Coming out of there is a wire that feeds 12 volts to the brake controller. I guess that's going in towards the brake controller, that current, and then coming from the brake controller through the firewall is the brake signal to the blue wire in this wire harness right here. And I'm going to show you what I did under the dash. So the brake controller, let's see, this video is probably going to suck, but anyway, you get the idea. So right behind the gas pedal there's a grommet where a bunch of wires go through the firewall, right there in the center of the screen, and so you can see the blue wire goes in there, and then the green and brown wire I put in parallel to feed power to the brake control unit. It's also fused, so there's a fuse that's there as well that fuses the brake control unit, I guess. And to tap into the brake pedal switch, that's what you have to do to make sure the brake controller knows when to turn itself on. So the pink wire from my brake controller, where does that go? That goes to that feeds my, gee, I don't know where, I think that what I've got shown is a pink wire here, taps into a red wire there, that feeds the brake controller the braking signal from my brake pedal. And I got into the wire harness, and I took the white wire, there's a pink, a purple, and a white wire, and there's maybe another one, no, pink, purple, and white wire that go to that brake switch. So I tapped into the white wire, and that's the actual signal from the pedal that I think it goes to 12 volts when you press the pedal, I'm not sure. Anyway, that goes to the brake controller, and then this white wire is going to just do a drilled part of the body right there. That's the ground, and that's it. So going to the brake controller, we've got the white wire, which is the what? That's the ground to the brake controller. Then we've got the black one, which goes to, that feeds power to the brake controller. Then we get the blue one, which is the trailer signal that goes to the back of the trailer that engages the electric brakes. Then we get the red wire, which is the trigger from the brake pedal. So anyway, I'd encourage you to consult your brake controller manufacturer's recommendations and make sure you use heavy wire. Apparently people don't use heavy enough wire, and their brake controllers melt the wires, and then you lose trailer brakes, and that's no good. So, and when in doubt, get a professional to look at it. Thanks, bye.